Alright, I'm outside now, and I thought what would be a nice little project to look at was years ago in 1995, Ron Ransom wrote a book called Carving an Amish Family. And this was a neat little book. I've always been kind of fascinated with the Amish people. I have an aunt that lives probably, gotta get this straight, lives not far from Lancaster, Pennsylvania. And I've been to Pennsylvania up there around her, and they've always kind of the beautiful homes, beautiful ranch, farms, and Ron Ransom, he wrote this book, and it is a book that just basically, these are the reason he did the figures and he didn't actually carve their faces in there is because I don't know if you know much about the Amish people, but they don't allow you to, a lot of them don't allow you to take their pictures because they there's a verse in the Bible that says graven image, I shall have no graven image before me, but anyway, that's up to them how they choose. But anyway, that's why he didn't put the faces on them. And I thought we would have a good time carving some of these Amish figures that he has here. He has for us here. And let me get the little cutouts that we did here to sort of give an idea of what we're experiencing here. Now this is 1 1/4 inch wood right here, and so we're just going to kind of wing it, as we say, along here as we do. But what he did is he actually shows you how to carve a figure from the front. Now we haven't done a lot of carving from the front. It's always been usually from the side, and it's a little bit different process. It really is when you carve a figure from the front. In fact, it's a lot different process. You have to draw your well, where's my pencil? I'm sorry, let me get my pencil. There it is. I'm sorry, dropped it. From the front, it's a little bit different process as we look at the figure, and the way we do it. In other words, basically, it's his hands are like right here. In other words, his hands are right here, and then he has a beard that comes down here like this. In other words, as we know, all Amish have beards, and then we have the kind of the clothes as we get, and we'll get into that as we get into the carving. These are a little bit different than the type of carvings I usually do, so we're going to look at it and kind of see how this is basically done. So put my glove on, and let's sort of, I cut these out so that I could cut them, excuse me, so I could kind of cut it like that, in other words. But we'll get into that. Now, when you start from the front, you have a little bit different concept. You want to draw a center line. This is where your arms are. So I'm sorry, excuse me. So you want to draw a center line so that your arms can be sort of equal on both sides when you start in that type of process, in other words. And what you basically do is you cut a line and you begin to remove this wood. I'm sorry, I'm outside, so if you hear some birds and stuff, it's good. You sort of remove the wood like that. See? From the arms there. But you start from the front and you cut your, and then you begin to remove and the arms like that. See? You sort of bring it back, in other words. And you continue to bring the arms down like that. Okay? And what you basically do is you draw a center line. Okay? And you want your arms to come back enough, you know, so that it is noticeable that it is an arm. And then you just sort of come in here and you begin to cut away and bring that arm back, because it has to see. And you want to draw your center line because you want to because you're going to try to cut off as much on this side as well on this side, so that it will kind of be centered, that the arm will be centered somewhat, in other words, on the figure. Okay? Okay, you see that? Now, like I said, these type of figures are a lot different than the way I normally carve. Okay, I usually use real deep cuts and things like that, but we're gonna sort of get that as you're working out. Now, with your shoes down here, I'm gonna make it a little bit deeper. And I'm going to put your cuts where your shoes are. I'm going to make them like this, in other words. Now on his, they're just kind of, you know, dang, but I'm going to go ahead and do the shoe type deal like this. Okay, as you can see from the side view, this is what we're doing. Okay. Now we're going to continue to bring our arms down. Like that. I try to show many different types of carving if I can, Like I said, this is entirely different than what I am used to. I'm a very, I use very deep cuts but this also helps a lot of people that wants to learn different forms of carving. So, see from the side, we just keep removing wood. Just keep removing wood and bringing those arms back. Till we feel that they are back far enough, like this. That way also we can bring the beard out and the face down. In other words, face out, in other words, where we can all right, there we go. That's my neighbor. He has a diesel truck, and I used to say those old diesels always sounded like a washing machine to me. They're real loud. They're real loud. Ooh, he went by and you can smell that diesel. All right. Now, as we look at this, of course, now, as we look at this, as we assume, in other words, we want to look at the side again. So we're going to come back here, and we're also going to draw a line all the way to the top, signifying that we want to start back here, removing some wood. A little bit. And back here. Okay. Okay. Once again, we're going to be removing a little bit of this wood. In other words, we're going to kind of come towards the middle a little bit, in other words. But we want to have enough back here or come forward from the front so that we have plenty of room to do the clothes and all that other stuff, in other words. Like this, for instance. If we're going to cut this right here, and then we're going to, and that's going to kind of be our beard that we're going to have here. Just to give it a little bit of deeper